Stop underestimating the power of intellect. In the history of empires, very few figures have combined strategy, philosophy, and audacious cunning like Chanakya, also known as Kautilya or Vishnugupta. Born in ancient Taxila, Chanakya transformed personal humiliation into the blueprint for one of the largest empires in Indian history, the Maurya Empire. Around 321 BCE, he orchestrated the downfall of the Nanda dynasty, using intellect, deception, and unrelenting strategy to outmaneuver kings who thought brute force was all that mattered. His story is not only one of revenge, but also of vision, planning, and mastery of human behavior, leaving lessons that resonate even today for leaders, thinkers, and anyone navigating complex systems of power. Chanakya's early life was marked by extraordinary intelligence and an unusual appearance, including canine teeth that he reportedly broke to avoid drawing attention to himself or being forced into unwanted royal ambitions. A learned Brahmin scholar, he mastered the Vedas and the art of politics, yet his life changed dramatically at the court of Emperor Dhana Nanda in Pataliputra, where he was publicly humiliated. Accounts vary, he may have been insulted during an alms ceremony, kicked out of court, or disrespected in some other profound way, but the effect was the same. Chanakya vowed revenge. According to legend, he would not tie his topknot until the Nandas were destroyed. This personal slight ignited a mission that would span nearly a decade, driven by meticulous planning, patience, and an unshakable determination to topple a corrupt and unpopular empire that ruled Magadha amid the turbulence following Alexander the Great's invasions. The first step in Chanakya's strategy was to identify a successor capable of realizing his vision. Wandering through forests, experimenting with alchemy to amass wealth, and seeking talent in unconventional places, he encountered young Chandragupta, a village boy of royal lineage playing emperor among children. Even in play, Chandragupta displayed remarkable leadership, decisiveness, and ingenuity, such as retouching the limbs of other children's dolls or robbers in his games, demonstrating both empathy and authority. Chanakya recognized that raw talent must be refined with discipline and tested loyalty. Purchasing Chandragupta from his foster father, Chanakya trained him rigorously in strategy, warfare, diplomacy, and governance. One famous test involved Chanakya pointing out Chandragupta's hiding place to enemies. When the boy trusted him completely and remained undeterred, Chanakya confirmed he had found a partner capable of executing the larger vision. Chanakya's genius as a strategist became evident in his campaign against the superior Nanda army. After an initial failed direct assault on Pataliputra, Chanakya recalibrated his approach. Inspired by a story in which a woman scolded her son for eating cake from the middle, he understood the importance of patience, timing, and psychological leverage. He shifted focus to conquering border regions first, creating alliances where necessary, and isolating the capital. A notable example was his alliance with the mountain king Parvataka, whom he promised half the empire, demonstrating both audacity and pragmatism. In another clever maneuver, he disguised himself as a mendicant to trick a resistant city when the defenders removed temple idols. Thinking the siege was over, Chanakya launched a surprise attack during their celebrations. Chanakya's tactics were a blend of espionage, psychological warfare, and asymmetric combat. He neutralized threats by poisoning food to immunize Chandragupta, employed spies to monitor enemy movements, and relied on guerrilla tactics to destabilize stronger opponents. Even within alliances, he accounted for treachery, such as orchestrating the assassination of Parvataka through a Vishakanya, while ensuring Chandragupta maintained sole control. Every detail was premeditated, from infiltrating cities with spies to funding campaigns through clever manipulations of merchants, gambling, and trade, reducing dependence on traditional taxes. In essence, Chanakya demonstrated that knowledge, Patience and cunning could defeat brute force, a principle later codified in his seminal work, the Arthashastra. The fall of the Nanda dynasty was the culmination of years of planning and coordination. Diverse allied forces, including Baflika, Shaka, and Yavana troops, invaded, while Chanakya's intelligence network foiled internal plots, including assassination attempts and tunnels dug beneath Pataliputra. Ant trails reportedly revealed secret passages, illustrating his attention to both minute detail and human behavior. The city was captured, the Nanda emperor killed or exiled, and Chandragupta ascended to the throne. Notably, Chandragupta's subsequent campaigns extended the Maurya Empire to the western frontiers, where he famously defeated Seleucus Nicator in 305 BCE. As prime minister, Chanakya implemented statecraft principles that combined realpolitik, economic insight, and sophisticated intelligence networks, cementing his reputation as India's first master strategist. Chanakya's methods were often indirect and ruthless. He consolidated power by eliminating disloyal villages, testing the piety of monks with deceptive tactics, and even intervening in royal births to secure succession, allegedly orchestrating the birth of Bindusara via cesarean section on a poisoned empress. His approach emphasized foresight, adaptability, and preemptive neutralization of threats. While these actions may seem extreme, they reflect an unwavering commitment to ensuring stability, loyalty, and the survival of both the state and Chandragupta's dynasty. The lessons embedded in these stories extend far beyond ancient India, offering insights into leadership, strategic thinking, and the psychology of power. The Arthashastra, attributed to Chanakya, remains a cornerstone of political and strategic thought. Although compiled later, it codifies principles evident in his life: governance guided by pragmatism rather than sentimentality, economic strategies that fund state initiatives without overburdening the populace, and the use of intelligence networks to maintain security. Chanakya's ideas anticipated many modern concepts of statecraft, including realpolitik, espionage, alliance building, and psychological operations. Leaders, both ancient and modern, have drawn inspiration from his teachings, earning him the nickname Indian Machiavelli. Perhaps the most enduring lesson of Chanakya's life is the power of intellect, patience, and human insight to overcome seemingly insurmountable odds. From personal humiliation at court to the creation of an empire that would define Indian history for centuries, Chanakya leveraged every advantage: knowledge, observation, cunning, and loyalty testing to achieve his vision. His ability to anticipate human behavior, manipulate circumstances without overt violence when possible, and act decisively when necessary remains instructive for anyone seeking to navigate systems of power, whether in politics, business, or social networks. Chanakya's story also underscores the interplay of morality and pragmatism in leadership. His methods, often ruthless, were always aligned with strategic objectives, illustrating a philosophy that the ends, if pursued with skill and foresight, can justify the means within the context of governance and state stability. Yet, unlike mindless tyranny, Chanakya combined ethical reasoning, careful planning, and intelligence to minimize unnecessary chaos, focusing instead on sustainable consolidation of power. The balance of ethical pragmatism and strategic ruthlessness is a defining hallmark of his legacy. His impact extended beyond Chandragupta's reign. The empire he helped create became a model of centralized governance, effective taxation, intelligence-led administration, and disciplined military organization. Chanakya's emphasis on preparation, loyalty testing, and preemptive threat neutralization ensured the Maurya Empire remained resilient long after his death. His work illustrates that leadership is not merely about strength or charisma, but about understanding systems, predicting behavior, and leveraging intelligence to achieve sustainable outcomes. Even today, Chanakya's life and teachings resonate, Business leaders, politicians, and strategists study his methods to understand negotiation, alliance building, and risk assessment. His lessons in patience, observation, and decisive action remain relevant for anyone seeking to navigate complex environments where information, trust, and human behavior determine success or failure. The archetype of Chanakya, a strategist who converts disadvantage into opportunity, turns insult into motivation, and blends intellect with action, is timeless, demonstrating that mastery of human nature and strategy can create monumental outcomes. In conclusion, Chanakya's life is more than historical legend. It is a study in strategy, leadership, and human psychology. From a humiliated scholar to the architect of an empire, his journey underscores the importance of intellect, foresight, adaptability, and unflinching commitment to vision. By training Chandragupta, manipulating alliances, employing espionage, and mastering statecraft, Chanakya achieved what few could. He turned personal insult into empire building. His Arthashastra codifies these principles, offering lessons that transcend time and geography, reminding us that power, knowledge, and strategy, when combined with patience and insight, can shape the destiny of nations. Chanakya's story teaches us that leadership is as much about understanding human nature as it is about wielding authority. It reminds us that intellect, observation, and strategic action can overcome brute force. It demonstrates that vision, when paired with tactical genius and a willingness to act decisively, creates history. The legacy of Chanakya is thus not merely the Maurya Empire, but a blueprint for strategic thinking, governance, and the mastery of human behavioral legacy that continues to inspire leaders, thinkers, and strategists even today.